Hi everyone, welcome to the next video from the Story of Precious Cats, and we are going to be working on this little cat today. She is a treasure, isn't she? Let's come in a little bit. There we go. We're going to start with her eyes. I rather like colouring eyes, I have to say. I don't know if that's weird or I don't know. Now I want to give her green eyes. He's got his blue eyes. I thought I would do some green eyes. I'm going to use the same sort of technique. So I'm just having a look at my greens to think about what sort of shade of green I want. I think I'm going to start with the Prussian green. It's quite a dark green. We're not going to put down too much. So here it is, Prussian, and I'm just going to use it at the top of her eye here. I just need to sharpen this. I know it's very pointy, but it wasn't really sharp. So a darker here, and then just start to reduce the amount of colour down like that. Well, it looks a bit weird at the moment. It'll be fine. Now I'm going to go for the mint green light. I think this will work. Give it a sharpen. There we go, mint green light. Right, the name's rubbing off my pencil. So go back over what you've done and then just bring the colour down so that by the time you get to the bottom there's nearly none. You're just almost just kissing your paper. Looks a bit pale. Now we're going to go in with a black. Actually, I think I used Mars Black for his. I think I used the Cool Grey Deep actually. Cool Grey Deep needs to be really sharp again because we're going to do a bit of shadow around the eyelid. Because the eyelid is going to be creating some shadow here right at the top. So I'm just going to gently layer a bit on. Some on the right, there we go, it's getting there, and a bit underneath that. This white bit is like supposed to be the reflection. It's rather large, but I think that's to give them that sort of cute look. There we go. I can actually just go back in with the mint green light and put a little bit more on, just to try and just blend in that dark bit a little bit. Go over it and bring the colour down. I'm just darkening slightly. Now I feel like these white areas here look a little bit odd. Oops, I'm going to use my white pen to just go over them and take away the black outline, which is what I feel is looking odd. It needs to look like a shine. There we go. I don't know about that. His looks okay. Hers doesn't. I'm just going to look at the one on the front. Yeah, it's definitely shine. So I think it might need darkening a little bit. I think once I've done her face, I'll have a think. I'm going to start with her nose, just because I remember how I did his with the sepia light, and I really liked it. I'm going to do it the same way. I didn't say these are Castle Arts Golds. I'm really sorry. I'm sort of assuming that if you're watching this one, you've watched the others, but you might not have done. If you haven't, welcome to the series. If you have, welcome back. Thank you for coming back and joining me. There we go. Now, fur. It's coming a bit closer for fur, although we need to fit her foot in. Right. I'm going to make her a slightly different colour to him. I think, why not? But we're going to start pale. Maybe not quite as pale. Let's start. I'm just looking at my swatch chart and thinking which colour. We don't have a very pale brown, so I'm going to start with the Davys Grey, which is a brownish grey, I'm thinking, and I'm just going to do a layer of that all over all of the areas of her that's going to be furry. So this is her foot, starting right down here, her paw. and I might just, as I can, fill that pad in and the shadow between her toes like that. We've got her other foot is here, hoping you can see, you should be able to, and again just a layer, and then fill that pad in a bit darker. And we've got her little paws holding the corn. And then her ears, mustn't forget those. I always find when I'm colouring Matchstick Mouse, I often forget her ears. I mustn't forget. There we go. Her little face. Now, I don't think I'm going to leave any a bit white. I think I'll use this apart from the whites of the eye. So I'm going to colour all of this in to start with. She's already coming to life. I think the green eyes are going to work once we've got a little bit of a darker fur going on. I think probably doing them first was a mistake because it's made me feel unconfident. Now I'm going to keep this colour in my hand and I'm going to do some of the darker bits. So inside the ear here, I feel would be darker there. Same here, look, there. And then this bit on the forehead, look, is marked as darker. And then here, look. I'm trying to do sort of zigzaggy strokes so that it looks a bit more like fur. We've got the end of the tail, and then this bit. Okay, and then I'm going to get a darker colour to mark in some stripes of fur. We could keep her grey. Actually, I think I might shape her nose. See how I shaped his nose a little bit? I think I need to do that with her. So under the eye, I made it darker and then sort of drew that in towards the nose. The same here, and just sort of built up the layers until it sort of looked right. Because her face is slightly angled. I think that's right. Yeah. Now, different colour. I'd quite like to go for a grey-y brown for fur, but I don't really have that. I'm thinking the slate grey is probably our closest. So I shall give that a sharpen and pop on some fur. It's going to be quite dark. And if we lose our contrast of colours, that's fine. I can come back in with something. Not sure what. Pencil probably. And just get it sorted. Yeah, I was just having a coffee and thinking about how over the weekend 2 people that I follow on YouTube got plaques from YouTube. One was for 100,000 views and one was for 1 million views. And I was like, oh, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? But I am nowhere near. I said to my son, how does it work? Because the 100,000 was silver and the 1 million was gold. I said, what's bronze? And he said, 10,000 is bronze. And I said, but I've got 10,000. And he said, yeah, they don't send them out for bronze anymore because there are too many people who have reached the bronze level, so I won't get one. I have had an email from them congratulating me, and that's nice, but you know, it's not a plaque. So please subscribe. But I was thinking, I think to get that, they both do sort of health podcasts which they have put onto YouTube. Just doing these darker bits first, and that's their sort of vibe. And I think because they're not as niche as I am, they're bound to get popular quicker. Plus they have like huge teams of people, they have promoters, they're always all over social media. I do a bit of social media obviously. You know, they have a whole marketing team, so it's no wonder they grow quickly, whereas I don't really have that sort of budget. Well, I don't by any stretch, to employ anybody. It'd be lovely to just have someone doing like my editing. I'm just darkening this bit a little bit. She's got to make sure she's got that shape in her face. Sort of fade it out a bit. And yeah, but you know, it's and they do lots of other things. So both of them release books. Both, one's got an app, one hasn't. Yeah, so it's a whole different world really, but it'd be nice, wouldn't it, to have a lot more followers. Subscribers is the word, not follower. Right, there we go. Now her eyes, what I'm going to do is she needs a bit of shadow where her eyelids are shading this white bit, which I didn't do earlier. So I'm going to grab my Davy's grey and I'm going to sharpen it, and I'm just going to do a little bit. We did that with his as well, and it's not really noticeable, but it just tones down the white a little bit. And I think that is the problem with her eyes that I am seeing, that this white here is too bright, and I'm going to grab some green. Now it's dry, I hope, the mint green light. I'm just going to go make that circle a little bit smaller by just going over that bit where I whited it with white pen. Maybe whiting it was a mistake. Just gonna make it a bit smaller. There we go. That's it. I'm just being fussy. You may probably won't even notice any difference, but I know I've done something. Right, her dress. Now I haven't thought about this at all. And her hat, of course. And I am thinking, is her dress like his? Is that sleeve a blouse and then this a pinafore? And is that like the blouse bit and this like a pinafore dress? I might colour it like that. So but what colour would her blouse? I'm thinking, because she's female, then I might make her blouse, I want to make it slightly pink, but it's not going to match very well. So if I use something that's slightly pinky orangey, actually the pink bloom is a good colour. It looks a slightly more orangey pink rather than a pinky pink. I'm making sense, obviously. So I'm going to use this pink bloom for her sleeve. I'm going to do a really light layer, just like I did for his. So, and I am winging it. I don't really know if this is right, but I'm hoping, and I'm thinking that's a bit of the, and so I'm going to make this bit the blouse and the collar, and then this bit is a different dress. It's like almost like she's got a little apron on. I haven't done her neck. Look, whoops. Let's grab that. Oh, my doorbell. I am back. Yes, it was the postman. This is back to pink bloom. Sorry, you probably haven't forgotten. It's me that's forgotten. I'm going to do the hat to match her blouse. What do you think? No. Yes. No. I want to do it blue, but I don't think I can do. Could I do blue like his eyes? Would that work? Let's finish the blouse. Now we need some shadowy areas around under the collar and things like that. I don't know whether just putting an extra bit of this is going to work. I think it might. Let's give it a try. Yeah, no, that one of my disk drives that hard drives that I use I'm going to make this a bit darker down here too, to save my videos on and things, has stopped working properly. So my husband had ordered me a new one. So that had just arrived, which is what it was. It wasn't actually the postman. I remember we were doing that, weren't we? We're going to do that. So Davy's grey. So the postman had come to deliver that. Make it a bit darker under there. And so that was good. Actually, it wasn't the postman. It was either DHL or Parcel Force. Some fur in there. That's better. Now, I worked out what's wrong with the eyes when I was away. I think they're too bright. So I am going to I'm going to dull them down with a bit of slate grey. Okay. So I'm just going to put the tiniest bit on top of the whole eye and just darken it a bit. There we go. That's it. That's all I'm doing. And now I'm happy. Now her dress, that does look quite pink, doesn't it? Pinker than I'd thought. I think if we go for a more, what about a terracotta? No, a Chinese orange. I've got to find it. There it is. Chinese orange. Now it's going to be quite dark. I think a pinafore would be darker, of apron type top, whatever it is, would be a bit darker than a blouse. So that's how I'm going to colour it. Yeah, and I rang my husband. We thought that was a bit of that, and I've coloured it. I'm going to go over it with that. I think it sort of makes sense. I hope so. Yeah, I rang him to tell him the driver had arrived as he'd ordered it. He gets worried about these sorts of things. Before he left for work, he was going, oh, they say they've got it, they might deliver it today, they might deliver it tomorrow, so you have to watch out for them and all this sort of thing. Whereas he gets really worried about this sort of thing, and I'm like, they'll ring the bell. I'm going to be in. He knew I was going to be in, so I didn't see what the problem was. But yeah, it's just how he gets. As I thought if I rang him to tell him it had arrived, he would appreciate that, which he did. And so that was all good. So I've got a light layer here, and then I'm going to work through each section and darken certain bits. So here you've got this sort of bit here. I'm just going to darken that as if it's just a darker bit of fabric. And then here I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit darker down here. I'm just going to sharpen up a bit. Thinking it's going to be a bit darker down here. And along the edge of the blouse. And then we'll sort of fade up towards the top where it's probably a bit lighter, like that. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now if we look at, she's sitting cross-legged, I think, and this is the sort of dipped part. So I think this bit is going to be darker in here, and then it'll be lighter as we go up there. And the same here. See how the fabric is sort of creasing just where it's overlapping like that. But down here I think would be a little bit, not as dark as here, but maybe a little bit dark too. Maybe across the top of that crease, like that. And up, just gently. I don't really need it much darker. I'm just trying to tidy it up a little bit. And sort of in here, a little bit darker. When I say tidying up, I'm just trying to cover some of the white paper and just work in those shadows and things. There we go. Yeah, I think that's quite a good choice of colour. It's sort of reddish really, but I think it works. And her hat, I am gonna go, I want to go sepia light, but that's the colour of her nose. I can't do that. Let's go old rose. Yeah, let's go old rose. Where is that? This is my old rose. I like this colour. Give it a sharpen. Hopefully it'll work and it'll stand out from her fur face. I'm just going to put a layer down across the whole hat first of all. And then you have to fill in where it looks sort of shadowy. Gosh, it's nearly lunchtime. I think this might be my last bit for today. So if you're going to switch off soon, please subscribe. Now if you don't like subscribing because you get so many notifications of when my videos come out, things like that, you can click the bell next to the subscribe button. So I'm going to put a bit of darker in here and along the edge of her face here. And in there you can select what you want with regards to notifications, and you can say you don't want any, or you want them all, or you want some, or you want like one a day, or there are different options. I haven't looked at it for a while, so I don't know whether it's changed and what the options might be. I'm going to go along the edge here, all the way along here around the ears. And so you can decide, so if notifications are annoying, you can cancel them, and yet you're still subscribed and give me that little subscription, which does make a difference. So, and thank you to everyone who is subscribed already. I'm going to put some dark in here and there, look. Where these sort of fabric creases are. There. I don't want it to look too dark. I think that is going to work. I think it looks quite cute. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. Right, I have no idea how long I've been recording for because I had to stop and get the door. But I am going to stop here because it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. So I'm going to go. But thank you so much for watching. I hope that was okay. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it wasn't too short. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna go, and yeah, well, I'll come back tomorrow and do a bit more. I think there's probably 2 more videos here, maybe. I'm gonna make sure I try and do a pumpkin in each video. Let's come out so you can see where we're at. Her clothes and the hat are quite pale compared to the background, and I'm not going to be colouring a background, so it is a pale, but in the big photo here, the big view here that I'm looking at now on the camera, it looks really pale, but to my eye it doesn't. So the paper glares a little bit. Oh, you can see all my shadow on my hands. It's because I've got my main light on. Anyway, I hope that's okay. But yes, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, hope you have a really good day, and happy colouring.